Do 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 Poppycock by Ali Bongo 327. Original concept by Roger Hargreaves, 2018, published onto YouTube in 2019. What a lot of poppycock, said Mr. Happy. Do you know why? Because little Miss Poppycock was coming to visit his house. You see, little Miss Poppycock was filled up with poppycock. She had a really poppycock house. The chimney was upside down, the windows and roof were on the bottom, the door was on the top of the upside down chimney. What a lot of poppycock. She had porridge on pictures for breakfast every day. Not even Mr. Greedy would like that. Anyway, let's just get on with the actual point of the story. Little Miss Poppycock arrived at Mr. Happy's house in her broken car, but she thought you could drive without a licence and couldn't drive with a licence, so she didn't actually have a licence. What a lot of poppycock. Little Miss Poppycock entered Mr. Happy's house. Do you have a driver's licence? Queried Mr. Happy. Of course I don't, said Little Miss Poppycock. Then why do you have a car? Shouted Mr. Happy. Because he can drive without a licence and can't drive with a licence, said Little Miss Poppycock. What a lot of poppycock. Ooh, I'm flabbergasted. My flabber has never been more gasted. Mr. Happy was seriously befuddled about that. Then Little Miss Poppycock went into Mr. Happy's bathroom. She was utterly surprised to see old Mr. Happy scared. Diddly 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 dead. She turned Mr. Happy's bath water into custard and turned Mr. Happy's toilet water into mustard. Mr. Happy was even more flabbergasted than before. He was utterly flabbergasted to see his bath water as custard and toilet water as mustard. Little Miss Poppycock was watching an extremely awkward TV show called David the Doctor. Mr. Happy had never watched it before, so he looked at it and said, What a lot of poppycock. Little Miss Poppycock ignored him. There are 27 seasons of David the Doctor. Each one had 37 episodes. That made 999 episodes altogether. Little Miss Poppycock had seen them all. Mr. Happy hadn't seen any. The one Little Miss Poppycock was watching was Season 3, Episode 30. Little Miss Poppycock always wore her bed covers inside out, so she turned Mr. Happy's bed covers inside out. Poor Mr. Poor Mr. Sad. The very next morning, Little Miss Poppycock woke up, slid down the banister, found the cream pie, and threw it in Mr. Happy's face. Mr. Happy was utterly apoplectic. A cream pie in my face! Little Miss Poppycock was reading an even more poppycock book called Hello by James Galway. Upside down! The fact that James Galway wrote it is very poppycock because he doesn't write books. Little Miss Poppycock had brought in a tin of of a type of popcorn called Poppycock, which was chocolate flavoured, that she wanted to have in the morning. She ate and she ate until she was sick on the floor, which told her 8 times 8 equals 64. It was eventually time for little Miss Poppycock to leave Mr. Happy's house. She drove off in her broken car. Little Miss Poppycock saw all the non-Poppycock houses and said, "What a lot of Poppycock!" She knew that everything would be better if she wasn't going to visit Mr. Curmudgeon's house next.